Hey everybody, it's Small G Gay again. I'm going to do more reviews of DC's New 52. These are selections from week 3, and I'm not reviewing everything that's coming out. I'm reviewing a selection of books. I'm avoiding the Green Lantern titles intentionally because there are several of them, and I don't like that continuity. And apparently it hasn't been revamped. So a lot of people are kind of being critical that only some titles seem to have been rebooted. There's also a lot of complaints that the titles are, some of them are just as incomprehensible and limited in their appeal to new readers or understandable to new readers as they were before. Especially the Bat titles seem to have, undergone very little, if any, change, except for Batman's Underpants. And I'm a little disappointed in a lost opportunity there. Similarly, some of the Super Team books seem to be having that problem as well. More on that in a minute. Let's see. Let's talk about some positive things. I thought this book was one of the best so far, and I was quite surprised that I liked it. Demon Knights. This is quite a creative comic that I enjoyed a great deal. It's by Paul Cornell, Diogenes Neves, and Eau Claire Albert. Basically, it's like a medieval Justice League. More like maybe the Defenders is more like what it is. They're calling it a medieval Seven Samurai. I love the concept of a medieval superhero team. This takes place in the DC universe's medieval era. Camelot has just ended, and chaos reigns. Morgan Le Fay and her son Mordred, who they're having an affair together, seem to be ruling the land. And Merlin pays a little guest starring spot, guest appearance. The team itself, I won't give away all the members because that's kind of the fun. I think so far we have 5 or 6 of the members are put together by the end of this particular issue. I will tell you that the Demon, of course, is one of them, as is Madame Xanadu. But This whole kind of medieval DC super team, I found the concept to be very, very fun. I thought the art was terrific, and I like the fantasy element mixed in with superheroes. The occultism is there as well. I thought it worked very well. I'm very excited about some of the... I like occult comics. I was always a big fan of Doctor Strange. I know I have a lot of Tea Party fans, but I don't think I think you can be a Christian and still enjoy occult comic books. And DC is really loading us with that. I think it might be the Twilight influence or Harry Potter, but they're definitely juicing up the monsters and the supernatural, which is fun. And this one is especially creative. So I give Demon Knights an A-. It's my second favorite of the reboot, following Batwoman so far. Batwoman was not a reboot, it was just good. Anyway, what's next? And a pleasant surprise. What's next? What's next? This was a surprising disappointment as a Legion of Superhero fans. Legion lost #1. This is by Fabian Nicieza, pardon me if I mispronounce people's names, and Pete Woods. I thought the artwork was quite nice. I think that they were trying to be like Lost, and that the first issue they were just trying to throw you in this action that would be so exciting and so frightening you would just be so absorbed. What it is confusing. I think it was a mistake for DC to launch the Legion spin-off before they launched the Legion. Is the Legion going to be rebooted at all? This is a 6 of one, half dozen of another, because if anything, the Legion has been rebooted too many times already. Legion fans have long grown frustrated with this comic book because it is just ridiculous. It started in the in the Crisis, when they had to take away Superboy and Supergirl, and they've just been going downhill ever since. And then Keith Giffen took over in the 80s and just destroyed everything. I mean, just for the sheer sake of sensationalism. Some people love those comics, but it left them with nowhere to go. They had to be revived as clones, and they've done so many reboots that it's impossible. you know. And with so many characters in the Legion, they really needed a tight continuity for it to work. And now it's just whatever. We'll see. I had really mixed feelings about it. This comic needed a strong setup. It needed exposition. We needed to know why they were in the past. We needed to know who was the villain, what was his plan, and instead of just finding out snips and pieces as it went along. I mean, one of the first scenes is Dawnstar vomiting, to give you an idea. I just did not want to read any more of it. A couple of the characters come to what seem to be, and may possibly be, or may not be, untimely ends. We'll see what happens. But actually, you'll see what happens, because I'm not going to be around for this one. I would give Legion Lost, just because the artwork was kind of nice and the coloring was kind of nice. I would give it a C-. Not a fan of Legion Lost. What else happened this week? Let's see. What else have we got here? Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. Now, right away, you're thinking Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. I was thinking this thing could be really fun. It could be really campy and, you know, really goofy and fun. The idea of Frankenstein being a secret agent is fun. There was a couple of concepts in this that I liked. I liked the fact that the Shade organization is inside a tiny sphere. That Ray Palmer, the future Atom, I don't know if he's even the Atom yet, but Ray Palmer has a tiny, you know, spy base inside of a silver sphere that floats over the city, and they shrink to go into the base. Other than that, I really think this needed more humor and more creativity. Frankenstein leads a team of monsters. There's a vampire guy and a Creature of the Black Lagoon woman and a mummy guy and a werewolf guy, and it's so predictable. This, by the way, this four-armed woman is the bride of Frankenstein. She seemed kind of interesting, I guess. This little Japanese schoolgirl is Dr. Frankenstein. He's, you know, come back in the form of a girl. I thought this was pure ripoff of what was the name of that movie? You know, the one with the children superheroes. Kick-Ass. I thought it was a Kick-Ass ripoff. Again, this was just not enough. It needed to be more, and it wasn't. So, I don't know. Maybe it needed more occultism or something. It needed a reason to exist, and it doesn't quite have it. The artwork was kind of loose. I don't necessarily mind loose artwork, but I don't think the coloring helped, and the combination was just kind of unattractive and generic. So we're not too keen on Frankenstein, Agent of Shade either. I would give this a C-. So I said I'm not giving anything a D. I guess because I come from a background of comics, I really feel for these people, and I know that they had to do a lot of work. And I just, especially for these kinds of comics where they're really reimagining them, it's hard for me to be too hard on them, except for when they're total communists. Now, Resurrection Man. This was a pleasant surprise for a lot of people this week, I think. And I thought that this really took advantage of what the reboot should be, introducing obscure characters and giving them a new lease on life. I love supernatural superheroes, and I love superheroes that have unusual powers and are the center of a series. And this one does that. He kind of reminds me of Deadman in that he is an occult superhero with an unusual power. In this case, Resurrection Man, I love the logo as well. Isn't that great? In this case, Resurrection Man is a guy who, when he is killed, he comes back to life. He's resurrected. Every time he's resurrected, he gets a new superpower, and his soul becomes more valuable. And so he has the forces of good and of evil after him, because everybody wants his soul. You know, they can all of the occult people want this guy's soul, the Resurrection Man's soul. And It's interesting because I'd seen characters that were invulnerable before. I mean, I always loved, what was his name, Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. Captain Scarlet was like that. He was invulnerable. So they'd send him into like an explosion and he'd like save the whatever, and make it survive the explosion. But this is a little different because Resurrection Man is killed. And then he comes back. So he can be killed or he could be killed slowly. And he's got this crazy demon that seems to be able to change sexes after his soul. And it looked like Madame Xanadu was at the end of this one. I have no idea if Resurrection Man is going to be in the new Justice League Dark, but I think it would be great if he were. So anyway, I know that some of my social conservative friends will be upset that these are cult-themed comics, but I thought that this was great fun. It had a great gothic atmosphere, and there was still a little bit more to it. It wasn't just pure action, and it wasn't just an intro. It managed to have that, plus a little nuance and some exciting, some interesting new characters and possibilities for future issues. And that's what a first issue should be. It should be a little taste and, a reason to come back. And I would come back for another issue of Resurrection Man. I would give Resurrection Man a surprising A-. So there you have it. There you have it. And next week I'll review more of these. I'm going to try to do 7 or 8 a week. I can't read that many. And these things are $3 a pop, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't know who's going to be buying all of these. Apparently they've sold out of all of them, though, and they've had to do reprintings of everything. And I think they may be heading towards the 3rd reprinting. Animal Man, which last week I called the pick of the litter, is already selling at my local comic shop. Here the book came out last week, and it's already going for $11 from its original price of $2.99 1 week ago. So that one's hot. I think it's overrated. And I found that a lot of the other fans did not care for that or Swamp Thing. I think Resurrection Man is definitely more user-friendly and more intriguing than Animal Man. Some of my thoughts. Small jiggy at a time. Bye.